Good evening, everybody. This is Xashan, Xashan's Home. Just watch Axe Truth this evening. It's fun as always. Just got a couple things I want to point out this evening. I'm not going to go crazy. But first off, this gentleman right here, Justin Fairfax out of Virginia. You're not dead. You have not been lynched. Lynching would mean you're dead. Passing the lynching law that they just passed, bringing up this idea of lynching is just wrong. I can't remember an actual lynching in the last 30 years. An actual, honest to God, somebody wanted to kill somebody else and they used a noose to do it. You've seen it on movies, seen it in TV, but I've not seen it in real life. So, Mr. Fairfax, please go away. The other thing that came up here recently. Senator Dianne Feinstein arguing with kids on the climate control. Okay, it's already moved past her video because her video was there before. But these children were took to Senator Feinstein's office, and there was a reason for taking them there. It was to try and pressure Senator Feinstein into backing the new Green Deal. The new Green Deal has very little in it that I want to be backing. As far as I'm concerned, the United States has made more progress to reducing our climate footprint than any other nation in the world. The nations that are the biggest polluters in the Paris Climate Treaty were going to get the biggest passes to wait on doing anything about it. So yes, pulling out of the Paris Climate Accords was the right thing for Trump to do. But Senator Feinstein didn't just fold to these children and the lady that was there with them. A lot of people try pointing out that Feinstein told the children to become a senator. Well, no, she was talking to the lady that interjected herself into the conversation towards the end of it, saying these children will have to live with the consequences of Senator Feinstein's choices. I'm sorry, those children, my grandchildren, will be living with the consequences of what the world as a whole does. The United States already makes huge progress towards being a more energy efficient and clean country than any other out there. So when the rest of the world decides to get on board and start catching up, that's when, we'll have to do more. And we are always leading in doing more, so we're already in the right, folks. We could go completely 100% solar and wind tomorrow, and it wouldn't matter with the amount of damage being done by the rest of the world. We can't fix it all by ourselves. But showing people that it can be done, and the best way to do it is things we are doing. Now let's move on. I saw this on Breitbart. Former GOP lawmakers demand Congress terminate Trump's national emergency at the border. Former GOP lawmakers are in bed with big business still and representing their K Street affiliates, wanting the national emergency eliminated at the border so they can continue their cheap labor, and the Democrats want their voters. Anybody who does not want to get security properly implemented at our border, which will take walls, which will take drones, which will take upgrading the sensors at the ports of entry to find the chemical traces of drugs and anything else that might come through illegally. It'll take increasing the personnel to process asylum seekers who, I'm sorry, as we've seen from the numbers, 98% of asylum seekers are not going to get approved. I'm sick and tired of them coming into the country and just disappearing into our country. There is no reason for the United States to keep importing cheap labor. Yes, there are jobs that, quote, Americans don't want to do. And there are already massive numbers of people here that supposedly want those jobs. But there are also the H-1B visas. These allow college-educated persons from other countries to come in as cheap labor for what should be good-paying jobs in America. But the tech companies and everything else, just like the farmers, just like any big government or big corporation, is looking at ways to cut costs. The border has to be secured. It's one thing we can do, and once we get that one thing, we can look at other things. I personally have no problem with the dreamers that are here being given a path to citizenship. And that's a path. That means you go down, you just like any other immigrant, and you're going to have to go through the naturalization process. But if you've got a child that's been here since they were 2, 3, 4 years old, some of these are, are as old as 12 or 13 when they came. They've been here most of the life that they remember. This is where they've learned to be identifying as the country of their origin. And if they are proud enough to want to become an American citizen, I'm willing to let them. If, on the other hand, they're criminals and they've already messed up and lost their chance at that, I'm sorry. There was an opportunity and you lost it. That's not the most prevalent attitude in our country, but it is the most fair. Our laws have to be set up to be fair. And right now, there's a lot of people who are thinking things aren't being implemented in a fair way. Why is it somebody that's not from our country can go into the food stamp office and walk out with virtually no questions asked, yet people that live here who are out of work can't get that same respect? Anyway, that was 3 things I just wanted to jump on right quick, put out a quick video on. I hope the Lord protects you, the Lord blesses you, and you have a wonderful day. Like, favorite, share, and I'm out of here.